Welcome to the After Show. This blog-style platform allows us more time to focus on certain headlines and explore trending topics. Today I'm here with
Trent Martin.
And our topic is college athletes getting paid.
Okay.
So, I don't know if you heard, California now has released a new law, Fair Pay to Play Act by the California mayor, to now allow college students everywhere, basketball, football, to start getting paid off sponsorship.
Okay.
And this will be starting in the beginning of 2023, and people believe this is a new era for college athletes.
Is it 2023?
2023, yeah, quite a while.
Planning this good, man, in 4 years.
But what's your opinion on this? How would you think this will affect the college game?
Let's see. As long as it's not necessarily the colleges paying them more so, then I don't think it'll be too much big of a deal unless you get into, like, bigger schools.
Because then the college is losing money that they get from tuition.
Mm-hmm. So basically what would happen if the college was paying them, basically they would just take their full rides that they would get for playing football or basketball or whatever, and they would just give them that money, which they would in turn have to pay for tuition. So, I mean,
they would leech off the players.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Another thing is, some people believe, I can consider this, but the reason people love college football is because it's a very competitive sport.
Mm-hmm.
In the NFL, people believe, oh, he's just doing it for the money. I mean, don't get me wrong, NFL is a competitive sport, NBA competitive, but college sports are so competitive because who are they doing it for?
Yeah, they're doing it for themselves and, like, the college.
Yeah. I mean, of course, scholarships, and stuff like that, but there's no money motivating. Money's one of the highest motivations.
Mm-hmm.
And with this new act, it could take some of the professionalism away from it.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely get that because I've always heard money is the root of all evil. Yes. So if you bring money into the picture, their college is getting paid for. If they get the full ride, they're getting paid. It brings almost an unnecessary evil if you look at it that perspective.
Players start, doing it for the money, not for the love of the game or the love of their school.
Yeah.
And now it becomes the NFL.
Yeah.
Something not nice at all when it's all about money.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's been plenty of times where the NFL has gotten in trouble with money issues and all kinds of stuff.
Players, because they didn't get enough paid.
Yeah, that happens with every sport. I mean, MLB, NBA, all that good stuff.
Another situation possibly is that some think the new policy will lead will lead to large schools with potential of giving sponsorships and giving students money with better athletes than smaller schools with, that have not received, the opportunity of sponsorships and money to give students with the not so talented athletes. So now you're changing on the chances of college students just, like it's like basically the NFL. You choose. I mean, that would mess up the whole NFL. They have draft for that. Yeah. And to draft the best college student, it would always come from one team.
Mm-hmm.
For example, what if it was Alabama? Of course, amazing school, amazing football team. If they got a sponsorship for their quarterback and the quarterback was making bank loads, now he's going to go into the NFL making bank loads, or a smaller school, quarterback's an unknown, didn't play that much, bad season, and then he turns around, gets no scholarship, but then doesn't get paid at all for college. So it's a big thing.
Oh yeah. Yes.
I know I hit a lot of topics right there.
Oh yeah.
I hit like at least 3 topics right there.
Yeah, I get what you're saying though. It's like you have a school like Alabama compared to like a smaller school, which nobody's heard of until like one of the most previous weekends, Temple. Of all schools, I've never heard of Temple.
Yeah, me either.
And all of a sudden, I just hear this random name. But it would be like as if they still, no name, nobody knew a Temple. And they aren't getting sponsorships. They're going to see, oh, these other college players are getting these sponsorships and getting paid for it. I need to go to one of those schools. That's going to take away team members from those smaller schools and giving them to those sponsorship schools.
Those schools that dominate every year. For example, SECs. You know, I'm a Big Ten fan. Sadly, I'm not an SEC fan, but that means any players outside of the SEC or any division, per se, right? Division outside the SEC would not get the opportunity because, I'm sorry, you know how they say, if you're not in the SEC, you're not a football team.
Oh, yeah.
No offense to anybody, sorry, but, that's just something we say down here in the South.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, it could change the whole game. And, I mean, one of the topics I hit while just, explaining that, what if, so how would they, you said, we talked about this earlier before we even got on here, how would you feel about the students, like, so they get paid 4 years of college?
Mm-hmm.
Think they deserve a scholarship to get paid millions of dollars for the next 10 years of football? Or do you think there should be some boundaries? I mean, again, it's not the school paying them. It's a sponsorship, just like you would do in the NFL. But still, these people are going to be, in a lifetime, making more money than anybody has in the NFL because they have money on top of college and money for the next however many years they play.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a big issue. I think that if they're going to do it, they need to have some kind of stipulations or guidelines. Like, they can't get too much from one sponsor at a time. Or maybe do like an allowance system or something for every time that player sponsors, like, just say Under Armour were to sponsor a random player. Every time that player, like, gives a shout out or something like that, they get a little bit. They don't get, like, tremendous amounts of money, because then that would, like...
money that's reasonable.
Yeah. Not like I said, that's why I need, like, stipulations and guidelines.
Not professional sports money. That makes sense. Okay. And I could also see how... So, for example, if college students wanted to get sponsored and they get sponsored, they start making money. How if, okay, this NFL team's been looking at this college player, and this college player's been getting paid for the past 4 years. Well, he loved the game, played it for 4 years, made his money, and this NFL team wanted this player. Now, what I'm getting to? He doesn't want to play football no more because he's done made his money.
Mm-hmm.
Because if it's too much, man, he's already made his money. What does he want? Why?
Yeah, if he makes like a tremendous amount of money and he knows how to manage it, there's no need for him to go play that professional.
If he doesn't, because you got the love of the game and then you got the love of the money.
Yeah,
there are them certain players, regardless.
They're gonna take the money over the game,
of course,
like 100%. So we're talking about these sponsorships. Could an NFL team not sponsor one player, so to convince them to join their team right out of college?
Well, that would mess up draft. The NFL team is dependent on draft.
Mm-hmm.
Baddest team of the year gets the best player of the year. It's to balance things.
Yeah.
But then...
I don't know that much about football.
No, it's fine. That was a good question. But then, I mean, it would still mess up something because what we said earlier with all one students going to this one college, one college will be providing... This NFL team could get with this college. Hey, can you start... what's the word? Can you start making cornerbacks? Apologize. Can you start making cornerbacks? Can you start making quarterbacks? Can you start making receivers? Can you start making players out of these athletes? And we will pick up your player every year just because you have the best school.
Yeah.
And because we are not doing good every year. A team... Sorry, regardless, if a team wanted to do bad, they can just flunk the game. I know it makes no sense, but think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Flunk the game for years, build a team, Super Bowl for the next 6. Yeah. I mean, I know it's ridiculous and it's out of proportion, but It's
It's still a possibility.
It's a big possibility. It's not, in the end, someone wanted Alabama athletes for the next 6 years. Oh my God.
Yeah, there's always been a big problem with players throwing the game on purpose. I mean, way back when the MLB first started, and it was like really big, we had people gambling on it, so they would in turn pay the players to throw so they'd win that bet. I mean, it's always been a big problem with players.
That's another thing. We just kind of just touched college. Imagine how it affected different sports.
Oh yeah, we've been focusing on football.
It affected basketball. It affected MLB. I mean, yeah, it would change the game.
Oh yeah.
And my question is, would sponsorships be making more money or less money because of these college athletes?
That's a good question, because they'd have to like limit how many they can sponsor so they don't lose all that money. Would they be making money from those people being sponsored, or would the sponsorships be losing the money for paying all these athletes?
And then also playing NFL stars, MLB stars, college, NBA stars, all these sponsorships, and be playing college. Don't get me wrong, Under Armour's a big company. So
especially in the sports industry.
Yeah, all these are big companies are making billions.
Oh yeah,
probably trillions.
Possibly.
Yeah, but eventually after the years, could they be losing money than making it? Having so many sponsors.
Yeah, that's a good question.
To wrap it up, could this change America's college ways? Could this change how the professionalism on the game? Could this change, how we view college sports? Well, 2023, I guess we'll find out.
Yeah.
That's it for today's episode of the After Show. Tune in our regular program by clicking on the episodes link. We'll see you here soon for our next episode.